All of these group actions are natural. They're also, to a great extent, inevitable. Mackerel, it seems, cannot choose to take a solitary swim. Geese will not decide to fly in a circular formation. Bees cannot desert the hive to live alone. As in nature, people also live in groups. Families are a good example of this. Some may be just immediate family. Some might be considered extended family. Some may even extend to tribes. Then again, some people live alone. And in spite of this organizational diversity, people survive. It's sometimes useful to think about these human groups as artifacts, as human constructs. They evolve, but they evolve based on human preference and ingenuity, not on natural selection. For example, throughout much of human history, sustenance agriculture was the norm for most of humanity. Extended families ensured that the hands necessary for working the fields were available. As economies progressed from agricultural to industrial to post-industrial, extended families became less and less valuable in terms of survival. Smaller families became the norm in developed economies. We're not suggesting that you attempt to change family structures, but suppose that you had to reorganize a business. Imagine, for example, that you needed to increase the possibilities of survival for a major auto company. How could you use the insight that human organizations are artifacts to design a strategy that might work? Our societies and organizations, as artifacts, not only shape the way we live, but they shape the way in which we perceive and create our realities. If you doubt this, think about the way we treat subjects such as abortion, immigration, appropriate levels of cultural tolerance, and so on. This shaping of reality can be demonstrated in less serious areas. There is, for example, the classic 9-dot problem. The challenge is to join all 9 dots by using 4 straight lines, without lifting your pencil from the paper. Give it a try. One solution is this. The difficulty that most people have with this is that they draw a box around the dots and seek a solution within that box. The box is not in the original diagram, but it is a construct, an artifact, of the person trying to solve the problem. It changes the reality of the problem and constrains possible solutions. There are many other puzzles which illustrate that the ways we construct reality make life difficult. Let's look at 2 before we move on to more important issues. People have had a lot of fun with this. With the addition of a single line, this figure can be changed into a 6. Please add that line. A hint to solving this is that many 7-year-olds in Canada, Great Britain, and the United States have no difficulty here. Another illustration. By moving 1 digit, this equation may be made into a correct equation. Please move that 1 digit. With both of these, the difficulties are not in the problem itself, but in the ways that people construct both the problem and the possibilities of their answers. The first puzzle is usually seen as a Roman numeral 9, the solution as a Roman numeral 6, and the line to be added as a straight line. This makes the problem difficult, but there was no mention of Roman numerals or straight lines in the presentation of the problem. Young children in English-speaking countries have no problem with this because they are ignorant of Roman numerals, but they are learning to spell, and the line they add is the letter S. The second problem points to the constraints we impose on ourselves and the types of change we allow. Most people try to resolve this problem by moving digits in a linear manner, either to the left or to the right. The solution is found by moving the digit 2 vertically. What makes this difficult is our experience, our knowledge, our social organization. It's not easy to go beyond these, to think about the ways in which we are thinking. There are times, however, when this looking inward is needed. Okay, let's move on. We can easily go beyond interesting puzzles to more practical matters. For example, suppose you were running a manufacturing company, and one of the things that your customers demanded was the prompt fulfillment of their orders. Let's look at how this is done and how it may be improved. Our current organization, if it's like most businesses, looks a lot like a bureaucracy. The organization chart will let you know who's in charge and what departments are formally recognized. It may look something like this. Now let's see how our organizational form deals with prompt fulfillment of orders. The sales department receives the order and checks the customer's credit before sending it to a production scheduler, who checks finished goods inventory. If the goods are in stock, then the order goes to warehousing to pick the items, which are sent to packing and shipping, where a designated shipper, such as FedEx, is called to send the order on its way to the customer. The shipping copy of the order goes to accounting to generate a customer invoice and records the eventual payment of the invoice to close the cycle. If the order items were not in finished inventory, the workflow would change to look like this. The scheduler would request production to manufacture the needed items. If parts or components needed to be ordered from outside suppliers, then purchasing would negotiate the price and delivery, which would be plugged into the production schedule. If this sounds like trying to solve the 6 puzzle with Roman numerals and straight lines, then we're making progress in understanding how the ways we construct our organizations impact our realities. Suppose we realized that we need to fill orders quickly and accurately, and we came to recognize that bureaucracies made this difficult. What is to stop us from designing and creating an order fulfillment team? It could look something like this. Why don't more companies organize themselves in this way? We have to recognize that what makes this difficult is our experience, our knowledge, our social organization. It's not easy to go beyond these, to think about ways in which we are thinking. There are times, however, when this looking inward is needed.